Hi everyone, welcome to Master of Biology. Today it's a video for class 11, topic the living world. So what is a living organism or what is life? So life is unique, complex organization of molecules expressing through chemical reactions which lead to growth, development, responsiveness, adaptation, and reproduction. So life is a unique phenomenon. Okay, it's very unique. It's nothing but complex organization of molecules expressing through various chemical reactions that leads to growth, development, responsiveness, adaptation, and reproduction. Moreover, a living organism is self-replicating. In the sense, all living organisms reproduce. A single-celled amoeba will also divide and multiply. Okay, so self-replicating, evolving. Okay, when you see the evolution process, it is always from simple to complex, primitive to advanced. So evolving, self-regulating, interactive system. So a living organism is self-regulating, self-replicating, evolving, interactive system capable of, more important, responding to external stimuli. If it is living, it has to respond to external stimuli. So there is a plant called touch me not. If you place your finger, that leaf will shrink, response to stimuli. Similarly, when you touch the hooks of a snail, it will withdraw its head into the shell. So even smaller organisms respond to stimuli. Okay, that tells that organism is alive. So response to stimuli is very important. So here we have seen the definition of life and what living organism is. Now we will be seeing some of the properties of living organism. Properties of living organism like various properties or characters define the living organism. Growth, reproduction, metabolism, cellular organization, consciousness. So these are the important factors that determine the living organism. Growth, reproduction, metabolism, cellular structure, consciousness. So let us see one by one. Okay. Okay, now let us see the first property of living organism, growth. So growth is one of the important property of living organism. Growth. How will you define growth? It is increase in number and mass of cells by cell division. Increase in number and mass of cells by cell division. So that is called growth. Okay, as cells keep on dividing, growth occurs. In plants, growth continues throughout life, throughout their lifespan, right? In animals, growth is up to certain age. Okay, growth is up to certain age. However, due to cell division, the lost cells will be replaced. Worn out cells will be replaced. In that way, the cell division will occur and replacement of older cells will happen. However, the growth is stopped at a certain age. Basically, growth means it increase in mass and size. Non-living objects will also grow. It is due to accumulation of surface material. You can see even the mountain grows, okay, little by little due to accumulation of surface material. Then boulders, sand dunes, So these non-living objects are also growing, and it is due to accumulation of surface material. When the things keep on accumulating, they also grow inch by inch. Okay. So basically, when you define growth, it is increase in mass and size. So the weight increases, the size increases. So all this happens even in non-living objects also. However, in living organism, growth occurs from inside. Growth occurs from inside in all living organisms. So next we'll be seeing about the reproduction. Okay, then next important property of living organism is reproduction. Okay, you all know that reproduction is production of progeny. Progeny means offspring or young ones. Okay, reproduction is a process where young ones are produced. These young ones will resemble their parents. Okay, so having features similar to those of parents. In reproduction process, the organism reproduces, and that young ones, progeny, will be having features similar to those of parents. When you talk about reproduction, there are two modes: asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. You all know that under asexual reproduction, different types are there. Amoeba reproduce by binary fission, then Spirogyra by fragmentation, Planaria by regeneration. Apart from that, we have vegetative propagation. So all these things come under asexual reproduction, where it involves only single parent. Then another mode is sexual reproduction, where we need a male and a female and the respective gametes. So two modes of reproduction, asexual and sexual. Coming to unicellular organism, growth and reproduction are same. Same in the sense, it's only by cell division. Okay, if amoeba needs to reproduce, it is nothing but cell division. Then similarly growth also. So both processes are done only by cell division. And you should also know there are organisms which may not reproduce. Such organisms are called sterile organisms, not capable of reproducing. And similarly, when you take human beings, some human beings are infertile. Okay, like if a woman is there, she cannot produce the ovum, or male who cannot produce sperms. They are called infertile couples. When we talk about sterile organisms, like we have in honeybee family, worker bee, it is sterile. And similarly, mules, M-U-L-E, mules are a product of a cross between horse and donkey. So that mule is sterile, it cannot reproduce. So when we talk about reproduction, one has to remember all these things, like what is reproduction, what are the types of reproduction, how in unicellular it happens, and think about sterile and infertile organisms, all these things. Okay. Okay, next important property is metabolism. So as you are seeing the video, the first one I said it is growth, second one reproduction. Now we'll see about metabolism. Metabolism means physiological activities or the functions that happen in a cell. Okay, physiological activities. So metabolism is a similar term for physiology, meaning functions, bodily functions, cellular functions, all this. So when you take plant, under plant physiology, you know that photosynthesis occurs, transpiration occurs, respiration occurs, all these things, growth, reproduction, everything. These are all metabolism only. Even in human beings, we have various life processes like digestion, respiration, circulation, excretion, like that. All these are physiology. That is nothing but metabolism. When I talk about metabolism, there are two types. One is anabolism, the other one is catabolism. In anabolism, for example, in photosynthesis, The plants, with the help of CO2, water, sunlight, and chlorophyll, produce its own food, the starch or glucose. So, from simple raw materials, it makes a complex food material. This is a constructive approach. This is called anabolism. The same food material is oxidized, burnt out under respiration process so as to get energy. So that breaking down process or oxidation process is called catabolism. So if metabolism is a coin, the two sides of a coin are anabolism and catabolism. Anabolism is a constructive approach, catabolism is a destructive approach. For anabolism, you can say photosynthesis as an example, and for catabolism, respiration. Okay, and metabolism can be defined as sum total of all biochemical reactions. Sum total of all biochemical reactions. This metabolism is a very important defining feature of all living organisms. Metabolism says that the organism is living. Okay, it's a defining property. Metabolic reactions can also be demonstrated outside the body, that is under lab conditions, in vitro. In lab conditions also certain metabolic reactions can be demonstrated. So that's about metabolism. Next. Okay, next is cellular organization. Okay, cellular organization. Organisms are made up of one or more cells. The organisms are made up of one cell. We call them as unicellular organisms like amoeba, paramecium, chlamydomonas. All these are unicellular organisms made up of single cell. And we have multicellular organisms, organisms that are made up of more cells. Okay, multicellular organisms. So unicellular is simple, multicellular is complex. Unicellular organisms are primitive, multicellular organisms are advanced. So based on this, the character of the living being is defined. It's again a defining property of living organisms. Okay. Okay, the next property of living organism, consciousness. Consciousness. The ability of an organism to sense their environment, and to respond to its stimuli, the environmental stimuli. The environmental stimuli can be light, temperature, water, other organisms, chemicals, pollutants. So all these the organism have to respond. Okay. When we talk about light, there are some plants which are very sensitive to light. Okay. For example, the sunflower will turn towards the sunlight. Okay. The movement. So it is responding to sunlight. Likewise, roots, they move towards the soil to absorb water. Its response to the stimuli. Similarly, temperature, the organisms, there are some bacteria which can tolerate high temperatures. Similarly, chemicals, pollutants. Most of the pollutants cause allergic reactions. That is a response to stimuli. Okay, if they inhale the pollen grains of a flower, they'll become allergic to them. Okay, again the response to stimuli. Similarly, generally speaking, when you touch a hot iron box, immediately you pull out your hand. Again, response to stimuli. So all organisms are aware of the stimuli. So what is happening around, all organisms are aware. So it is one of the defining property of living organism. Okay, so consciousness is one of the important defining property of organisms. And above all, human is the only organism having self-consciousness. Okay, human beings have self-consciousness. They know what is right, what is wrong, and they are always aware. They are very much conscious. Okay, this is the final property of the living organism. So in this video, we saw about the various properties of living organism like growth, reproduction, metabolism, cellular organization, and finally consciousness. The, I'll continue the other portions in my next video, that is about the diversity of living organism. Right. Thank you. Thanks for watching my channel. Kindly subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.